Gossip is something that spreads faster than the speeding bullet. Do they still use their feet? Why do people shake the wine? So I see wine bottles with the top on top. Some are lying down, and then there are many positions. Please remember, I do not know who your friends are. It's like giving a golf set to a non-golfer. Hello, my Wi-Fi friends. This is your grandpa blogger, Johnny Litton, and you are watching Ohnline. It's Johnny. Stay with me for the latest topics, including hot news bits and stories in top trends by none other than Miss Carolyn Tang. Internet Words Tutorials is coming with Nikki Tang on eSpeak, followed by insightful interviews on TalkStream, and of course, tips for a better life on Johnny's Hacks. Keep it here, Ohnline, it's Johnny. Here we go with Korean news bit from our beauty queen correspondent, Carolyn Lee Tang. Come in, Carolyn.
안녕하세요, Tito Johnny. And shout out to all K-drama fans of all ages. Do you know who played the go-board game Protege Tech in Reply 1988? And the Joseon Prince who fell in love with Yuna in Love in the Moonlight? If you are a K-drama fan, then you would know who we are talking of. Another oppa to add to your list is actor and singer Park Bo-gum. He became the first actor to top the Korea Power celebrity list by Forbes. His most recent role is that of a model turned actor in Record of Youth. His wholesome disposition enabled him to turn his on-screen bodies into real-life friends. Fact is, he traveled with his Reply 1988 friends to South Africa. This beautiful camaraderie is highlighted in a blog of the trip. Bo-gum met his Filipino fans via the Good Day Fan Day at the Mall of Asia. He met the heart of TV host and K-drama fan Ann Curtis Flutter when he said she looks like popular K-drama actress Song Hye-kyo. During his Manila visit, Bo-gum showcased his vocal prowess and piano skills with a series of songs including a cover of Gary V's I Will Be Here. The 6-foot-tall actor and model turned the simple meet and greet event into a night to remember. Though it was his first live event in the country, it was already his third time in the Philippines. In 2013, he went to Cebu to shoot scenes for his drama series Wonderful Mama, then returned in 2016 for a vacation again in Cebu with the cast of Love in the Moonlight. I'm sure fans will have to binge watch all dramas of Park Bo-gum for the meantime. He is currently serving in the Korean Navy Band and Honor Guard unit since August for his mandatory military service. He qualified to specialize in piano after a performance test and interview. He is scheduled for discharge in April 2022. Park Bo-gum is definitely one of our top Korean oppas. This is Carolyn Tang for Top Trends. Only here on Ohnline is Johnny. K-드라마 팬스 여러분, 오늘도 좋은 날 되시고 더욱 많이 응원해주세요. 항상 감사합니다. 안녕. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Carolyn Tang, for sharing what's new in the K-drama world. Today, I will learn more millennial words with my online tutor. Hi, Teacher Nikki. What e-speak will I learn today?
Hi, Tito Johnny. How are you? It's great to see you again. While many endeavor for perfection in learning the English language, all of us still enjoy slang when in informal surroundings. So, let's take the opportunity to learn new words again from our Cyber Urban Dictionary. Are you ready, Tito Johnny? One of the trending slangs in these recent times is GOAT. G-O-A-T. GOAT. Maybe one of the greatest of all time slang. And I'm not referring to the furry animal. That is not the GOAT we are referring to in this e-speak class. GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time. When you hear millennials use this word in a conversation, they are referring to an absolute best or absolute best at something. If you use it, then make sure you're using it right and for someone who deserves this regard. Nonetheless, you can use it as an inspiration too. Let's try GOAT in a conversation. Tito Johnny, who do you think is the GOAT of the film industry? Or like this, Michael Jordan is the GOAT of the basketball world. Tito Johnny, let us try you here using GOAT, not as the animal, in a sentence.
Michael Jordan is considered GOAT basketball player of all generations.
That's phenomenal, Tito Johnny. And now, another trending slang is the word savage. S-A-V-A-G-E. Savage. Though since the 1500s, savage has meant brutal or aggressive. Do you know that since at least the 1990s, savage has also been slang for excellent? In current usage, savage basically means awesome, can be taken as compliment. Also, it can describe something as someone extremely good or totally good. Here's an example when using savage to mean awesome. Manny Pacquiao used his savage boxing skills to defeat his opponent. Or if you wish to mean it as an impressive, here it goes. OMG, that fundraising concert, absolute savage. I would love to hear you use the word savage in a conversation this time, Tito Johnny.
Dear friends, if you respond to your daughters or daughters with your success, that is so savage.
Very cool. You're savage yourself, Tito Johnny. 2 out of 2. You are becoming a certified native e-speaker. I'm eagerly waiting for another e-speak class with you next week.
Thank you, Teacher Nikki. I've learned a lot from the millennials these days. Thank you so much, Teacher Nikki, for updating me with these words, especially with the word GOAT. More and more women are saying hello to a lovelier and more beautiful face with Love K Derma beautifying products. Love K Derma technology-based solutions allow you to see immediate results in the comfort and safety of your home.
Hello everyone, I'm here to share you good news. This pandemic period, I have been quite concerned of my aged skin because I haven't been to my dermatologist for obvious reasons. Until I met up with my friend Joy, I was amazed of her beautiful and young looking skin. Her secret LED mask of Love K Derma. Immediately, I grabbed my unit, and after a few days of using it, I now have a young looking and beautiful skin. It's so easy to use. Just wash your face, apply the activating gel, and then put on the Love K Derma LED mask. Set it to your desired treatment. The treatment automatically lasts for 10 minutes. Then after the treatment, put on the Gold Glow Serum. With Love K Derma, it's now easy to have a beautiful, young-looking skin. Harmless, painless, and hassle-free. Grab yours now!
Love K Derma Picture Perfect promo. Mechanics. Post your photo holding your Love K Derma product with a proof of purchase in your name. Make sure that your photos are in landscape format. When posting in your Facebook wall, make it public and use these hashtags. Hashtag Love K Derma. Hashtag Ohnline It's Johnny. Hashtag Love K Derma X OLIJ. Get a minimum 50 likes to automatically qualify for the e-raffle for a chance to win one of 5 Love K Derma LED face lift wand. Winners will be posted at Johnny Litton by Jayelles PH on 16 December 2020. Make sure to follow the page to be notified of postings.
And so, dear netizens, it's time for some tea and pastries. Let's sit, bite, and chat with the founder and Chief Executive Officer of French Baker. The person, my dear friends, is also a co-founder of L'artisan Corporation, T Brothers Corporation, Chat-Time Philippine franchisee. And you know what? Also, the Quick Bread Corporation. Put your hands together for my special guest and my dearest friend, Mr. Johnlu Koa. Bravo, Johnlu. Nice of you to be here with us.
Thanks for inviting, Johnny. It's always a pleasure, but it's now online. It's Johnny.
Oh, wow. But Johnlu, you're an amazing man. I'm so happy that I had the chance to see you and to talk to you again. It's been such a long time since I saw you. And every time I would go to Banlac, I would look for you. I'm very happy that you gave us the chance to see you and to talk to you again. Johnlu, if it's okay with you, to what do you credit your pioneering spirit? And you have such a passion for business. Would you mind sharing with us, please?
Oh, yes, Johnny. Well, as you know, my former job was a professor of business at the UP Diliman, the College of Business. So we tried
UP Diliman.
In UP Diliman, yeah.
Oh wow, that's one
for
of the
15
best.
years. For 15 years, I've been teaching undergraduate and graduate students of business. Why I'm passionate? It's because of who I am. I love to talk to people, deal with people. I love to buy and I love to sell. Even when I was a child at 8 years old, I would go to the market to buy plastic toy soldier and marbles, and then I would sell it at tingi at double the price.
At what age was that?
8 years old.
8 years old, and you were already making your own money. Wow, you're simply amazing.
And you know, as Chinoy boys growing up in Binondo, every Christmas and birthday we are given ang pao, right? And so I saved all the ang pao money, and I would go to the Visoria market, and then I'd buy these toys, and then I would ask my friends to play with me in the looban, And then kids will swarm our house in front of the house and the apartment, and they will ask, and I'll sell them what they want with the markup, of course. That was when I was
8 years old. At 8 years
Yes.
old, you are, oh my gosh, you're already earning your own money at
No,
8 years old.
because at that time, you should know that everybody spoke, ate, and dreamt business. Binondo was the hub for commerce in the whole Philippines. And growing up, I saw how my grandparents did it, my father and my uncles do it. So, di baling malit lang ang patong, basta sige-sige lang ang business.
Correct.
Diba?
But you know, Johnlu, I'll share a personal secret with you. I grew up in Binondo, in Juan Luna, in the corner of Maysik. There's a bridge going to Divisoria. I grew up there. That's why I speak a little Hokkien.
And we live in Maysik. We live in Maysik.
Maysik, yes.
Yeah, we live there.
Corner
No,
of Juan Luna. You did?
Yeah, Maysik. We
God.
lived in Maysik. There's this
So
little
maybe,
bridge.
yes, the little bridge going to
Yeah.
Divisoria.
Yeah,
My
and
God.
then at the corner has a barber shop, and then and then when you go further, it's Santa Elena already. You turn right, it's Juan Luna.
There, that's us, Juan Luna, corner of Maysik, before the bridge going to Divisoria. Now I
Stayed in the
understand.
building.
Well, at that time, the Aguinaldo was the tallest, not mall, but the tallest building, 7 stories.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
a funny
I
life.
remember. So we
But-
grew up. I mean, we knew the place so well. Both of us.
We were neighbors all this time. But you
There
didn't
was
know
a
me, and I
school
didn't
called
know
J.
you.
Abad Santos High School.
Yes. No, but you know, Abad Santos now is the father-in-law of the Madrigals.
I didn't know that.
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jose Abad Santos is now one of the 3 faces in the 1,000 peso bill.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Siya pala yun.
But,
Si J. Abad Santos High School, siya pala yun.
but yes, and we were neighbors without knowing each other. Can you imagine that? But by the way, Johnlu, I understand you've been awarded an Ernst & Young Emerging Master Entrepreneur, and in mentoring Go Negosyo entrepreneurs. What would be the best 3 lessons that you entrepreneurs must learn like you to succeed?
First of all, I think we should all understand that we are all working or we're part of an emerging economy. An emerging economy is characterized by still a lot of poor people, but a lot of people aspiring to be middle class citizens. So there are still unmet
Poor people
needs.
trying to be
Next one.
middle class.
Yeah, there are still unmet needs and unmet wants to improve their lifestyle and the quality of their life. So as entrepreneurs, we have to evolve. We have to evolve our management systems, the way we view industry opportunities and threats, and deliver these basic goods and services to meet these demands. So as passionate as I can be, I try my best to put on my professor's hat and try to analyze the industry, right? Like, for example, at the time when I started French Baker, it was in 1989, I distinctly remember the fact that there were a lot of Filipinos coming back home to help the Cory Aquino government, post-Marcos. And they brought back with them, and I've said this in your show many times in the past in TV, I told them that they come to back to our country, reverse brain drain, with a set of needs and unwanted demands, such as, isn't there a good baker here other than a hotel? Where can I get bagels? Are the croissants real? Are they butter? Do your baguettes taste like the ones in New York, in San Francisco, in
Yes,
LA?
bagels are New Yorkers.
You will not believe it, but we have the best bagels at French Baker and
Oh,
Artisan.
with you, I believe it. I really do.
So I use these opportunities to the max. That's why in 1995 I decided to quit teaching and focus my energy on the business because it's been growing leaps and bounds. When I say leaps and bounds, it literally meant that after the first store, in 2 months' time, Tatang Henry C would offer me a second store. In another 2 months' time, a third, and then a fourth, and a fifth, a sixth. Until one day I told his secretary, I said, it's not really the money that I need. It's just that I couldn't cope with it anymore. But still, the bank wanted to help me. So it just grew and grew because the malls became the new place for people to hang out. We did not have railroad stations. We don't have public halls or stadiums. We just had malls where you go there for anything and everything, and that there's parking, it is safe, secure. So the secret behind all of this is just that we have to be alert, we have to be attentive, we have to listen to customer needs. Whether food or fashion, what is more important is that we know that in an emerging economy, there are certain characteristics of the buyers that will tell you whether or not a good or a service would work. For example, when I started French Baker in '89, all of these executives coming home would want to buy anything at any price for so long as it will satisfy their palate, their habit, their way of living. In my case, I was lucky. I remember when you opened one of my first stores, there were customers who gave me a comment. They said, what did they say? Oh, Mr. Koa, if one piece of your croissant could buy me 2 loaves of bread. But I said, well, as a boutique bakery, I cannot compete with the big bakeries because maybe they sell 10 times my volume. But I'm happy the way I am because when I started it, I really knew this was not a mass market to begin with. So secondly, I think emerging markets also tell us that consumer needs change in time, and we have to level up at certain point in time. That's the reason why I introduced L'Artisan. I will tell you why L'Artisan was created in 2006. I've been in Mega Mall, just standing on the sideline, parang standby. And people would pass by and I would look at how they wear, what they eat. At that time, popcorn, ice cream. And then one day, I heard somebody said, hindi, wag na lang. Because most of the time, I'm in SM. They say, French baker is not French enough. Oh. It bothered me for many years. French baker, the consumer is not French enough. It hit me really, para akong nasuntok. And I said, ginagawa ko kasi yon dahil I'm trying to meet the needs of the middle-class Filipino bread-consuming market. Oh, sige, gusto mo ba the real thing? So, many years after, I put up L'Artisan. When you go to L'Artisan, it's all about sourdough, long fermentation, fermented whole wheat, whole grains. I would have sorghum. I would have rye inside the bread to create a special flavor. And this and that. So that's the reason why I have L'Artisan. And then many, many years back, I would have told one of the biggest tea label, but I don't want to say which one. Well, it started with an L, like Litton. I said, hey, you guys, why do you think Filipinos only love black tea? How about green tea? Wala ba kayong green tea? At that time, they were the #1 market leader of powdered tea drink. And they said, sir, hanggang dyan lang tayo . Tsaka ang lakas na. And then this and that. Ito yung open a pouch, put it in a liter of ice water, and you have instant. And it was one of the biggest selling product of French Baker. But I was already looking out for the more health-conscious individuals who would demand for less sweet, who would demand for other than black tea. You know, there's so many teas in the world. You have black tea, you have oolong tea, you have green tea, you have white tea, and then again, you have rooibos tea. And rooibos tea is coming from a shrub from Africa. And this tea is so nutritious and it does not contain caffeine. And so I was telling him, and all he had to tell me was, well, we will have a price increase next month because sugar went up. This was in the 90s. And then when I saw the brand Showtime, all of my frustrations seemed to point to that direction. Because in the Showtime way of selling, there is no powder mix of tea involved. Everything was made from scratch. We have to brew the tea. Secondly, you can tell us what kind of sugar you want, how much sugar you want. Then you can tell us how much ice you want, or you don't want any ice. Then what toppings you want. So it was like a customized way of selling. So when I went to talk to them in Showtime, the first thing the owners in Taiwan told me was, oh, you must have been the 100th person who's interested. You know, Johnny, what I told those guys, who became my friends now after 10 years, I said, oh, please, Google on these two words, the French baker and Johnlu Koa. Oh boy, in just 1 week, they came running after me. Running as in, they answered by email, our email. And then in a few weeks' time, we went to Taipei, and then they came to Manila. And the rest, as they say, is history. So in business, and in business as in life, everybody needs to adapt to the existing situation and environment. In my case, I was just very lucky because armed with business education and practical experience, it's not too difficult to be able to come up with more ways of doing things, better way of doing things. And of course, the more important thing is staying humble. You know, Johnny, it's not very easy to stay humble. It's the most difficult thing. When people dote upon you, people look up to you, it's always so easy to say, I don't need it. I don't need to learn that. It's okay. I've been there. I've done that. But I learned that many of our future answers will come from the people, the small people we've talked to today. Like the guy who said, French baker is not French enough. That challenged me. So I had to go back to baking school to learn the art of traditional sourdough making. It took me, you will not believe, 15 years before I succeeded doing it on an experimental basis. 15 years. Not that I don't know how to make bread, but it's like dancing. When you do sourdough, you go into a different kind of step, not the traditional old way of doing it. So all told, we are still blessed with opportunities in this country. It's just that right now we are so negative, a lot of us, because we do not know what the future will bring us. And we would like to look to people who can give us messages of hope, not just despair. And it is really up to us to sift through all of these threats and opportunities. And this is the reason why I'm so passionate also with PA Joey Concepcion's Go Negosyo. I've been with them for 15 years. You know, Johnny, isang tawag from Joey and his staff, I would drop everything and go to see them as a mentor. You know, the people we talk to are really little people, like really little people. Like you would like to fork out 10,000 if only you could solve their problem. But we don't do that because once you start forking out 10,000 peso, 15,000 peso, you'll have a long line of mga people pumapanggap na entrepreneur trying to get some money out of you. So we don't do that. We just take their phone number, we talk to them and say, you have a problem, call me, text me. And if I'm not around, don't get angry, I'll get back. So we are very passionate as well at Go Negosyo, helping people because that's the way that we give back to society. And the many times the ideas we give may work or may not work, but it is always the satisfaction at the end of the day, as they say, that you go home, you felt good. Somebody really said and really posted that, oh, I learned so much from Johnlu Koa, and say things like, listen attentively. If you don't, you will lose a lot. Just that alone is enough psychic income. I don't need PF. I don't need professional.
But
So
you
that's
know,
how I
Johnlu,
run my life.
Johnlu, knowing how busy your work life is, please share with us, how do you spend time with your family?
Well, Johnny, traveling to Europe used to be, before the pandemic, a twice yearly affair, because I go with Alu to do the fashion buying for spring, summer, and fall, winter for the last 25 years now, except for this year when the lockdown was
25 years,
declared.
wow.
Yeah, so
No,
you
but
can imagine
25 years every year.
that's a contract we had with them. And so, well, one day I was really floored when my eldest son, Johnard, said, "You know, Daddy, when I was 3 years old, you just don't know it. I would just cry by myself."
Why?
And because he missed us.
Ah, I see.
Just
You
that.
have 3 children, right?
Yeah.
You have 3 children, Jonard, Clement, and Julia. What are the
That's right.
interests and dreams of this 6th child? How different are they from one another?
Well, Johnard right now is the Chief Digital Officer of French Baker Group. He's helping out
Wow,
in a big way, getting us online, www.thefrenchbakeronline.com, www.lartisanph.com, etc., etc. He has set up websites for each store nationwide. We have delivery up to Davao
Jonard
City.
was the one crying and crying and crying because you are away. And now
Yes,
he's
and
in that position.
he was 3 years old. So when I heard about that, I now realized that the only way out for any family, head of family, to find time is to involve them in what you do. So on summers, when they have no school, whenever we travel to US and to other parts of the world, we bring them along just to show them what we do and the kind of work we do and the opportunities over there. And over the years, as they grew up, they realized that we were traveling not because we wanted to desert them, but because there was a purpose. And now they realize that it's so fun to travel for business and leisure.
That is why Jonard was crying and crying, missing you. But now he understood that when you traveled, you were doing it not only for personal pleasure, but really business.
Yes, and in the case of Alu, many of our business interests kind of intersected. So he would take a trip to Germany. I could take a trip to France or Italy for the bakery businesses. And we would make sure that we're always together on the same trips, and we would gather our appointments together so that every winter time in Europe between January and March or February,
Oh,
we
that's
would
very
be
cool. That's
together.
the height of winter.
Oh
That's
yeah,
very
and,
cold.
very cold, and that's why
Very cold.
belatedly we decided to get a men's brand called Van Lac, because they sold winter clothing, summer clothing, spring clothing, and then of course for the spring summer, usually I go there for the bakery fairs. The fashion fairs are held during winter for some reason, and then the bakery fairs are held in summer when the bakers are more free. So it kind of worked for many years now, and so we don't really miss each other as in miss, but because it coincided, we would travel together. We look after each other, and then later on, my son would join us in our travels, and my daughter Julia is so excited to finish school so she could also travel. Just want to tell you also that in life, as in business, you cannot expect perfection. Somewhere along the way, a second child came along, and he is a special child. He's a special child. So
I see.
So when people look at him, and they still, many years back, they will be surprised how could you still live your life so normally in spite of him?
Well,
What is your source of happiness, comfort, consolation in spite of him? He had massive brain surgery at the age of 2 months. And we had
two
to take him,
months.
yeah, for meningitis
Oh,
because he was delivered short of 9 months.
7 months.
Kind of, and then no, more than 7, but less than 9. So this is that gray area. This is that window when all of these things happen. And so at that time, it was very difficult. It was a stormy period of our lives. And one thing I made sure was that it was nobody's fault. Then we brought him to UCLA Medical Center for brain surgery.
In
As
Westwood?
recommended.
In
Yeah,
UCLA?
in Westwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed at Tiverton House, excellent care facility post-operation. And the one of the famous surgeons there told us that you're a lovely couple. You have to make as many babies as you can. It's just 1 out of a million chance that you got this case. I remember Dr. Lazarev telling us that there's nothing wrong with you. The intrinsic message is that don't blame each other. So there's nothing wrong with you.
Johnlu, I'm going back again to Westwood, and you made a statement that really stirred my memory with you. First of all, I was the MC, the host, when you opened your French baker
Yeah.
in SM, in MOA. You were there. I was MCing for, at that time, Papa Tatang.
Henry
We used to call him, you used to call him Tatang. And also, the statement that you made, you were looking for perfection. Let me say a quote that I learned from one of the actors, Sheen, Martin Sheen, I think was the one. He said, perfection is God's business, excellence is ours. So, but the fact that you were looking for perfection, well, drove you to what you are now. But I'm just so happy that you found time for us, Johnlu. And your advice is now being circulated in Oh No, It's Johnny. And there will be a lot of people now, I hope, will not be calling you and bothering you, because
It's
luckily
all right.
enough, like you, there is a lot of followers that we service, and you have given them a chance to understand the varied experience you have. You will always have time for family, and you will always have time for your friends, and that makes you the amazing man that you truly are.
Can I add something else?
Please.
Yeah, with regard to our children or children of successful parents, I have one advice for them. Please try your very best to show your vulnerability side. Do not put up a front that you're all powerful, all knowing, all everything, because by doing that, you tend to communicate a wrong message that your success does not require you to become humble. So on everything I do, I always say, yes, I can do it, but you do it the right way, the hard way. And you show your weak side. And I need help. Can you help me here? Can you help me there? Sometimes you just pretend that you kind of like need help, even if you could do it yourself. So they have to feel needed too. Our kids need to feel needed. So parents, you are like me, successful, but your kids must feel wanted and needed. Yes, for the young
Please say it
individuals,
again, yes.
please, when you wake up, begin your day with a prayer. And if you can
Let
end
me
your day
repeat it.
with another
When you wake
prayer.
up, begin your day with a prayer.
Because
Okay.
of the uncertainty that lies ahead. And at the end of the day, you end your day with another prayer, either to thank the Lord or to request for more. And to guide your thinking through the night, because we sleep half of our lives anyway. And at night, when your subconscious takes over. You might just dream of something, maybe a new product design, a new way of doing things better, etc. But altogether, I believe that young people should not lose hope in this country. Do not leave the Philippines as we are now going through real changes. In 1986, after EDSA revolution, we all dreamt of a new Philippines. And that dream is still work in progress. But with the NLEX XLEX connecting road to be open in a few weeks' time, this is massive, great hope for us. If you can now drive all the way to the Rosario foot of the Baguio Mountains, this is achievement. And just remember this, there's no other home but the Philippines. We may be Chinoy Johnny, but 99% we love adobo. We like
True,
sinigang.
that's very, very true.
And let's make the whole
But
Philippines work. Let's make it work. If we need to pay taxes, pay taxes. We need to pay toll, pay toll. We need to fall in line, fall in line. Now we need to wash our hands, put on our mask, put on our shield, and if you can do extra, go ahead, do it. Wear PPE, whatever. Let us live through the pandemic well. And we cannot wait any longer to see each other in parties, in occasions. I think we have to bring back humanity to our society.
And you can do that. You're a very good example that excellence can be reached.
Thank you.
Johnlu, congratulations for your award. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you for answering even my personal questions. And I tell you, you are not only amazing, you are, well, I will use the word, you're fantastic, you're wonderful as a father, as a husband, and not only that, as an entrepreneur. So all I can say right now, thank you very, very, very much. And have a wonderful, many more successes in the future. Thank you so much, Lou, and bye-bye.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting. God bless us all.
I enjoy sharing hacks with our dear netizens. So for today's episode, here is another question from a Johnny Hack follower. Here is the question.
Hi Johnny, we're here at the Christmas tree lighting of the City Club of Falan. Actually, I'm here because I enjoy attending social events and parties. And secondly, since we're in the food business, I also help my son get clients, especially for this coming Christmas season. Anyway, the reason why I'm having this video, and thanks to Christian Marquez, whom I saw here tonight, is I want to ask you a question with regards to the Christmas tradition that we usually have. No? First of all, in the past 34 years, it's been our tradition to hold Christmas gathering up to 100 persons. And during those celebration, we would even have raffle, we would have entertainment, we would have, well, a lot of things, no, like singing, but I think singing is not allowed this time. Anyway, my question is, with this pandemic, what can we do to bring back this tradition? Can we still hold parties at this point in time? That's all, Johnny. That's what I want to ask.
Well, that's a timely question, George. Here are my Johnny's hacks. For hack number 1, George, you should still have a Christmas party to maintain the family tradition. This can be done online via Zoom, but you must continue the family tradition, and we call it Christmas. Hack number 2, to make the evening entertaining, George, why don't you make each group do a performance? You know, maybe a performance on video. This may be a dance, it may be a song, but have cash prizes ready for awards. Hack number 3, George, since there won't be the usual Christmas gift giving, be extra generous to those who serve you at home. Remember, they haven't been with their families during this pandemic, and it will be a very good act of kindness and recognition of their generosity and keeping up with the tradition we know as Christmas. Oh, by the way, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a video and I'll give you Johnny's hacks. Only here, online, it's Johnny. This has been episode 7 on Online, it's Johnny. Before I say goodbye, let me share some thoughts from my dear great-great-great-great-grandfather, whose name was Confucius. He loves quotations from Confucius, the Chinese philosopher. And he mentioned that choose a job that you truly love and you will never have to work a day in your life because you are doing something that you truly love. Well, dear friends, Grandpa blogger John Litton is here. See you again in our next episode of Online, it's Johnny.